presence out of Anubis. They're only holding the B site with Cypher utility. Shalabi able to take the kill onto Mixwell. A valuable frag to have right off the bat. That camera no longer going to be a problem in covering flanks, and they still have their own cam on the site ready to catch them as they push back on into B. Retake for Anubis off to a flying start with Zizo making his presence known on this server, and someone needs to step it up with a lot of kills. With Avova and Kellogg's left alive, it's still very much possible. Avova even starts it off with the first. Kellogg's eating that shock dart and then a bullet right afterwards. This round looks like it might just be done.
Yeah, they can defuse. There's absolutely nothing he can do to try and fight off this corner. And alongside the flash, it leaves Krollo almost completely blind, but the push through only gets him one. Shalabi at the back of the site, though, needs to do an awful lot here. With Frost coming into support, they managed to hold it down for now and delayed G2 enough.
He's so quick. Shalabi, his decision-making on point, swapping over to that rifle, able to close in the distance and hold it down by himself. This is where things can get a little bit dangerous. Oh, well, that was trippy. Mixwell able to catch the kill onto Frost. Now the site looks to be theirs. They still need to clear out Shalabi, and they know it. Now with a rifle in hand, a little bit less threatening. But he can take on a couple of players, maybe not. Nukia quickly dispatching him. And the plant will come through. Mixwell still up close. And that's a headshot through the wall. Aves just about surviving it. But how can they get back in at this point? Aves' position is known, and they'll suspect Zizo to be coming through mid any moment now. There's even a trap wire waiting for him. He either has to jump over the top or trigger it and give away his position. He goes for the latter. Knowing where Mixwell is, it's the right call to try and isolate that duel to start. But it doesn't look like he's getting anything for his trouble. The time now starting to become an issue. He needs to get a move on quite quickly. And there it is. Now just a 1v1. Nukia on the back site, the final player to try and run this clock down. But the time is just too low at this point. Zizo has no choice but to go and save to the next round, or to get dropped by Nukia as he
team in a lot of scenarios, and just taking so much space that Anubis right now can't deal with him. This wasn't really available when he was on a previous agent such as the Sky, because he almost had to be an initiator on Shalabi. In this round, unfortunately, he's going to try and utilize that Bladestorm, the one big threat that they had. Maybe not the only one, but he's gonna fall.
Yeah, I like the reaction. Here's the drone, instantly dashes forward, tries to take the kill, but sadly not working this time around. There were teammates there to back him up, and the timing a little bit off. G2 gravitating towards B yet again, showing some serious preference in the early rounds in terms of which site they like to hit, but they always hold that early default first and tend to typically find a pick, whether it's in mid or, hey, Krollo again showing up. Another kill for him on this Marshall, and things start to get pretty scary for G2 now. Man disadvantage and weaker weapons that they're going to play against. Plus, they gave up all their A control, so there's almost no option to go back with 40 seconds left. They have to go B, and splitting through mid is going to be their solution to this problem.
Yeah, I'm a little bit worried as well in terms of information for the defensive side. It does seem like they've tried to switch their gaze a little bit to at least cover it, but there's going to be so much space taken already. They're going to have spawn control they can watch. Nice. Mixwell, though, is actually going to get dropped. And now they actually have the neural theft. For once, it's going to play a huge part because they know the remaining two players are trying to wrap back around. It's been an unbelievable round from Krollo, but Avova might not be done just yet.
Yeah, that's big. Oh, the shock dart right on him. That is pinpoint accurate. Nukia walking all the way up here. Lots of control going to be taken. Interestingly, nothing there for Anubis to stop that kind of play. Even using a trap wire on B, which I like inside the Viper's pit, but not having anything to cover off the halls could be risky indeed. This is why they've got Frost very passively watching for the push through. He's seeing the utility. This is the first time we really see that shift with weapons in their hand. The Bladestorm trying to move into A, but nothing is found. It's a brick wall. And the defense for Anubis. A few missed op shots coming out of Shalabi, though. Doesn't seem to matter.
He's so confident in the way that he...
Giving them that extra little bit of safety, knowing that their back is covered. Look at the aggression out of Aves, pushing all the way up into their spawn, and Shalabi another missed op shot, but it might just be made up for here with Aves coming around behind. That's one and an easy second on the follow-up. Great stuff, as he's now going to be able to pop those Seekers, reveal the rest of the players, and they don't need to move out of position at all.
Kellogg's just break all of them. I think he did. I think he just destroyed every single one of the Seekers, so it hasn't really given them much information. Like, okay, they know that they're not on A at the moment, but he was still lurking just outside the spawn, so it still means this hold is going to be important. But with both Viper and Cypher here, the two almost Sentinel players looking to try and lock things down, Krollo trying to hold back the push. Avova just goes swinging through it, though. Gets rid of him, at least for now.
They can't find the trap wire.
Just hitting everything.
mixwell couldn't find the trap wire. That's an interesting positioning out of Anubis on the utility, but it might not matter yet again. Good shock dart in to deal damage, but it's a 1 versus 3 in the end. Avez having to push his way into the site. We saw him already find 2. This is for the ace clutch to close out the round, but he's up against so much. There's Cypher utility, there's an operator in play. You've got a Vova who's already showing up massively on that back right site. And getting close to them is going to be the big challenge.
I think they've seen him.
He's hoping someone peeks him at this point, gives away a 1v1. But there's no opportunities really given past that kind of jump peek angle. There it is. Okay, reload in. Avez, very low on time though. He's got to go now. Rushing forward to try and do this, and 4 kills will not be...
Ornamentor's going to be spotted. Seekers thrown out once again to try and clear out some of the back site. And they will get quite a bit of information of the 2 positions of the remaining players, but they've used utility to hold them back, at least for the moment.
They should expect Krollo to be here. Been playing the backside for quite a while. Nukia's showing up on a Guardian, and Cole Dementa sneaking through middle good to take down Krollo. This is where you're probably thinking about a save. Not with a bullet in your head, you're not. Frost caught lacking, leaving Zizo all alone. A Vandal at hand, and it's one of the few things they can have for the next round, so saving it definitely makes sense. You can see on his face he is not happy, as it looks like that lead is no longer in Anubis' hands. We're looking at a tied-up scoreline of 4-4, and the only question is, does Zizo get out of here alive? And I think so. It would be a little strange if G2 managed to hunt him down this far away. One of the benefits of playing on Breeze, with it being such an open map, it's not very easy to find people when they're playing hide-and-go-seek.
Yeah, the other thing as well is how close the last round was for G2. Financially, they're not in that good a spot. That's why Nuke had the Guardian in this round, of course. He gets 200 kills with it anyway, so it's not like it hurt him in this round, but it's important that they make sure they actually build that economy up, especially if they want to continue to bring the operator into future rounds for Kellogg's, which, as you sort of mentioned, is such a big map. It's a weapon.
I gotta say, man, one of the things I really hate is early round usage of a Hunter's Fury. Like, popping it right at the start, I'm not a fan of. And right there, you kind of see why. You know, it can bring you so much value in some rounds, and instead, they have tried to use it to bridge the gap of weaponry, but they have failed. And now, they're stuck on site, they lose that ulti, and they've lost Avez as well. The operator picking him off, a lurk out of mixwell inside of mid, as the rest of the team looks to push B. And as you said, Tom, there's not really been a response from Anubis. They haven't been able to consistently hold that, and Shalabi's even been spotted.
Oh, that could be a problem. He's going to be caught at the back of sight. They've got the information that he's there, but can he pull off an absolute miracle shot? What is that coming out from Shalabi? He then pulls the Bladestorm in as well, and he's been picked out of the air from Kellogg's. Somehow, this comes into a 1v1 scenario. A few crazy shots connected, but it all comes down to this.
Kellogg's has baited him out! And missed the shot! Zizo gets away with it, and Anubis push up to 5. The fake plant, the operator holding the angle, but it doesn't make a difference. G2 lose out on the round, and you have to say Shalabi again, the key man in making that happen.
Legged him. I almost just want to stay silent and just watch this. This shot was ridiculous. That was the last bullet in the clip. The jump across as well.
The fact that he hit Shalabi, even though he was updrafted, was pretty impressive. Like, he was ready.
He hits that shot and then he legs him.
Yeah, exactly.
The peak. Like, come on. That is the most Kellogg's thing I've ever seen.
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
Hit the impossible shot and then miss the one that you're waiting for. But
dangerous game, Avova. Dangerous, dangerous game. So those steps are going to be heard on the rotate over, but Avez is still sat here waiting for a play to be made. Starting to go back, though, and provide a bit more support. They're getting pressured in on this A site, and that's when Avova chooses his moment to start walking on forward, start closing the distance, but he gets caught. Yeah. Okay, Nuki just walked up mid. He's taking a frag for free. They've got a spike plant coming in, but the numbers are still even. There's still a shot for Anubis to pull this one off. They've got to find a pick. They can't allow G2 to set up in post plants.
Especially that they've still got mid control. This is going to allow them to basically gamble that every single player is coming from a similar direction. And even if they have to push through tube, timing is going to be absolutely everything here. And instead, I think there's just too much information currently available for G2. It's going to be a quick trade. Kellogg's unable to connect, and he actually dashes into the remaining man. Now Nuki's got to try and run all the way back towards the site. They haven't actually tapped the defuse, but this shot is everything. If Shalabi lands, he wins the round, but instead, the swing comes in. Aves still has enough adaptation of trying to put Frost in play, but again, the same screen has gone down. So you're going to see this late lurk coming through from Mixwell as they try and take that extra space. They are being caught by every single piece of Cypher utility, though.
Somehow Frost has gone down. Zizo just ran through his own Viper. What? That was absolutely ludicrous. He goes through the Viper utility, I think including a snake bite that had just been thrown down, and just gets them. What a classic in hand. G2 able to pop that neural theft, though, thanks to the corpse that pushed on forward. Now they know exactly where these players are. It's decision time, though. 55 seconds on the clock. More importantly, though, they had committed so much. Now they get control over middle. Do they use this as a late lurk, or do they go and meet Mixwell to get the plant on the A side?
They've got enough time that he can actually just use this control. Even if they do wrap back, he might be able to find a free kill. Again, it's just going to come down to where he actually checks. He's going to hear the footsteps of Shalabi actually running. And this is everything. They can now just go walking through. They know the A site is completely clear. They're making sure to check into middle just in case there's anybody around the angle. But no one's even looked in that direction. And considering how long it's been, you have to now feel they've gone A.
There's the deep flash on B. That confirms it. Now they're going to shift their focus completely. The door about to be opened by Shalabi, but that gives away to Mixwell that his timing is right, that he's going to be able to get up close. They even pop the Viper's Pit. This is almost faking out the paranoia. They're like, oh, maybe we can be shot from a couple different angles. And no, Mixwell's actually covering it. Now has an operator to work with as well. That trap bar is going to be destroyed, but it doesn't matter. Aves still needs to connect the shot afterwards. He's low HP. Mixwell going to be shot and taken down. Pushing into this Viper ultimate, though, is really where the trouble begins. The foothold easily found for G2, and as Anubis walk on into here, look where Avova is. He's up close and just spraying, praying, and taking them all with him. 6-5. G2 not letting Anubis run away with this half. And it's going to come down to the final round to determine whether Anubis get an advantage out of this or if we're going to be tied up at the halftime.
Yeah, again, it's one of those rounds where I think there's just a few mistakes here and there from Anubis. Like, again, just completely abandoning A. I can understand it. Maybe you want to play the retake if they go in that direction. It's more some of those really aggressive plays when you're up against pistols. And it's like, realistically, while the gun that got the remaining couple of kills, I'm pretty sure that came from Zizu, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that this is where you can get a little bit worried. If G2 managed to pull up to 6, tie it up, and that lead that Anubis had, 4-2, 6-4, constantly having that little bit of a buffer, it fades away. Pistol starts to matter a lot. We've seen those snake bites a couple of times come out to try and deter Kellogg's from taking the space, but it doesn't work. He's consistently just diving in towards that backside. G2 obviously clearing out those angles, making sure no one can swing on him as well as he does it. They've spotted out the players towards spawn as well. Such a mixed bag of a buy for Anubis.
It's getting a little bit awkward, but Commentators is still managing to find the shots. Frost has traded it back into a workable position, but they're just taking so much control once again. Spawn now firmly in the control of G2. They've only really got to worry about this flank as Aves is desperately low, but Commentators, he's watching it again. He's had a great round, and now Aves left on just 21 HP. Should have absolutely no chance of winning this, and G2 are going to eat. Because Kellogg's in a position where he can almost definitely just lock down the early spots. The issue, though, is that Anubis have just run straight into the B site.
Yeah, look at the backside here of Vova. In the corner, he'll be expected. This is a normal position to hold, and the trade is quick for Anubis. The site now theirs, and a plant can be found. The numbers definitely not in their favor. Zizo goes down now. It's a 4 versus 3. G2 looking to mount that retake, and they have got them surrounded. 3 players, in fact, or 2 as it now stands, looking for the flank, 1 through mid, and 1 holding on in the spawn. That's Commentators, who's now going to fire a recon deep, try to give them the extra control. They've spotted Frost. He won't be able to get anything done. G2 walk out with the pistol on their defense, giving a plant over, but it's not the biggest of deals.
Yeah, no, a really solid retake as well from them. Killing off the lurk is always going to be super important, especially on a map like Breeze, where you can come in with a lot of really open plants on the B site. So those late rotations coming in from Zizou could have been a real problem for them. They also took enough map control that even if they just traded out kills, it was going to be very, very difficult for the remaining players to hold on to the site. So well played from G2. Not the end of the world just yet for Anubis. I don't imagine they're going to... Oh, maybe not. I was going to say, I don't imagine they'll invest into this round, but actually, they are coming back in with Spectres.
Here. I mean, when it comes to Breeze, excuse me.
I'm intrigued. I'll put it that way. Let's see what they do with it.
Well, it looks like a faster play is going to be the flavor of the day. Moving in towards this B site. Vova holding behind his wall. Gonna let them get up close. The snakebite goes down, but they're already through. This timing is going to be perfect for them, coming up and catching Vova completely off guard. And that's the site. It's completely theirs. They can get the plant yet again with a man advantage now. It looks like this force buy is already showing merit.
Yeah, I think Vova just got a taste of his own medicine. Assuming they wouldn't push through any of that utility, and it's definitely become a problem for them. Now, in terms of ranged weaponry, I was going to say G2 have a fairly big advantage, and the swings actually coming out for Anubis are just feeding those extra kills. The remaining players are actually off-site, so they just have to hold back here. Night shocked out from Frost. He's actually done a hell of a lot of damage with the pistol. They're just spinning around! Surely this isn't going to work! And no, they actually deny the defusal. It comes down to 1 versus 1, and Krollo's going to land the shot. I'm not quite sure what I've just witnessed, but it's an Anubis win.
Drone's coming through. That's going to clear out Kellogg's on the back site. He's being pursued. Shalabi's still having a dash to play with, and he's on him. The tags, but Nukia saves the day, keeps his teammate alive. Kellogg's still going to be able to do damage, and there's the operator coming out, saving grace. Having Nukia alive at least at the start, and now like Anubis at a man disadvantage.
The amount of things that he's been caught by. And he's still alive! Oh, the timing almost works, but again, an instant trade coming out from G2. Zizou still going strong. Krollo has found another, and Vova seems a little bit late to the party. The clock ticking. He needs to get a move on.
I'd almost say the rest of the team is a little bit too eager to get in there. Not even having their smokes down. That orb's still leaving a pretty big gap, and he's going to tap it to start with, baiting Zizou into a fight, but the fight is won by Zizou. Anubis, 9-7, and you know what? Popped for him to take control on defense. It was to push down hulls, so they're aware of this. They know that's how you use it a lot of the time when it comes to jet plays, and so they shut it down. A little piece of utility that stops that control swinging in their favor. A little bit of a tag on a Shalabi, but he's all right, holding down the mid control.
Oh, we've already seen a couple of ultimates invested in this round from G2. The build-up looking to come into the B site, and in all honesty, it's not a bad setup, but those Seekers are going to make things just that little bit more awkward. The dash through, actually, Shalabi just going to go through alone. He takes the tank off that utility, but he eliminates Vova. He's still going to deal with Kellogg's, though, and this is the danger man in this round, still lurking around within the shadows, but he's dealt with by Avez. It leaves just a couple of players standing. But UK, he's been looking hot to trot with this Guardian so far.
30 seconds till a flash comes online. If he can just stay alive on that backside, even conceding a plant would be okay, because look at Mixwell on his way up behind. The plant's going to come in, pretty much no problem. They've got the angles on lockdown, and look at he stepped. Now he saw Mixwell. I don't think he realized he just saw him, and Mixwell now creeping down on him is going to have a free kill. You'd imagine, but Krollo, the timing of a god, manages to catch him off. Nukia spammed to 11 HP, and this is set to be double digits for Anubis. There's practically no way for G2 to get away with this round. It's only a matter of time before that double swing comes in and Nukia goes down. There's even a flank out of mid, and it's going to be Krollo to close it. Double digits for Anubis, a 3-round lead, and a clean attack so far.
I love how in the previous half we were talking about like the audacity of Vova to make plays through the snake bites.
Yes.
And he has been punished, I think, at least 3 times now from players pushing through his snake bites and killing him off the back of them. And this one was incredibly risky. Like, just going straight through that poison orb alone just to try and find that kill and get the opener. But it's been worth it for Anubis. They found so many solid plays onto that B site just by killing off of Vova. And the reliance of G2 on him as an individual is now starting to look like a bit of a problem.
Certainly a problem when it comes to the B hold, exactly as we saw from Anubis when they started out on their defensive side. They had so many problems with holding down that side, and ultimately it comes down to timing so far, and it's Shalabi.
Into the bullets. That's how you survive.
It's Shalabi that's typically the one that's dealing that damage, that's causing the problems on the B side, but now he's gone. He's dealt with. And with no Sage in play for either of these teams, there's no res to bring him back. That's a man disadvantage that they are going to feel for the rest of this round.
Definitely slowing things down a little bit after that loss, and you can see for the defense as well, every single time Kellogg's is in an aggressive position, he's been cleared by the drone. I think a lot of credit needs to be given over to Frost for just making his life a living hell. Avova, maybe a little bit risky to try and take that aggressive play, and in fact, he's going to be caught off. As said, the punish onto Avova in almost every single round has just handed the B side. The flash also delays the rotation as well, so now they're going to convert with that spike onto the site.
And Viper's Pit activated. Nice and easy plant coming out for Anubis. This is a big hiccup for G2. Getting back onto this side is going to be incredibly tough. Hunter's Fury pop. That is finding a needle in a haystack, really, isn't it? Krollo completely avoids it.
He's still there.
Just sat on the wall waiting for them to walk on in. Defuse going to be tapped. There's the snake bite to guarantee he's not on it. They know where he is. They have a very good idea that he's in this alleyway, and that's going to be the shutdown. Great use of the recon bolts to force him back. Hunter's Fury pop, but time is not that low. They could still go for it, but they've decided to go for the save. A 3 versus 3, too many players to clear out, and the Hunter's Fury, I guess, being the final nail in the coffin, stopping them from taking those aggressive fights.
Why would you not go this way when you've won the battle almost every single round? I like the further aggression coming out from Nukia, giving them a little bit more in terms of options, but they've moved him out of that Viper's Pit, at least for the moment. Now, he's got the snake bite to at least delay them that little bit longer, and actually Zizou has just walked into A. He's actually got himself an operator as well. So if they try and peek back into this, it could be a little bit more of a problem. And UK knows this. He's going to try and challenge versus the players rotating through mid, but they will now know at least that this is going to be an A hit.
Camera taken out.
Yeah, there's the plant just starting now. You're going to see Avova leave that Viper's Pit and start to rotate over. He still has his wall online, so I don't want to see too much movement coming out of G2, but again, they're going forward before he's even anywhere nearby. Looking to force this fight, and luckily this time around it is working. Abez, you've given away the round now. There's no way he can stop this defuse. Even if he killed everyone there, he couldn't get around there in time. Look at where Mixwell was, just tucked in. The second that door opens, round's done.
Caught off a little bit. See if it's more of a blip on the radar of Anubis. As I said, they got caught out a little bit with some of the more aggressive plays. I don't necessarily mind that, especially from someone like Nukia. I think he's very good at positioning himself for those individual duels. And I want to see them challenge for some of this map control, because realistically, thus far, it has just been these almost like B default plays coming out from Anubis. They haven't really had to do much else. So sure, the Viper's Pit did lock them out for this round. It's not going to be there this time.
It's not just the Viper's Pit, though. It's Nukia's push inside of Elbow. The fact that he kills Frost takes away the drone, so now they can't clear him out. And that's a massive problem. That's the #1 way that you counter. Kellogg's swapping up his position this time. He moves over to Elbow instead of the A-side hold, and it's not working out for him either. A shutdown and an opening duel for Anubis. Also, quick note, last round they did lose a player through the Viper's Pit. Cold Amanda was in spawn and took that kill easily. Shalabi out immediately. Nukia on the trade back, another elbow push, back-to-back rounds where he's found success. And G2 now sit happy in a 4v4, at least considering how they start.
Oh, no! No! Delete the VOD.
Delete it.
I don't want to see it again.
Luckily, we haven't got Joey here, so we shouldn't get a slow-mo replay of that.
Please. I don't want to see that again.
2 versus 3, both players coming in through B main. You're actually seeing Avova completely locked out by those walls, one of which is his. The other is the problematic one. Anubis having a little bit of control, clearing out back sight. I like this, but they've wasted a lot of time now. They're going to have to wait for that poison wall to come back online so they can really gain some space. They'll use that time to heal up Krollo, and now they'll look to get the plant.
30 seconds left.
Using this to almost create a corner where they'll be hidden. Actually, They're going to try and re-aggress with this, maybe realizing that it'll be difficult to hold on this site in any other way. Avez, he's going to land that first shot and already spots onto the second, but the spike gets dropped. He now has to try and cross back just to give them a chance. He's actually at the back corner as well. I don't even know if he's going to have enough time to cross back over. They're not actually going to peek him, though. So he will have that plant, but instantly we see that run back around, completely denied by G2. It's not going to work out this time for Anubis, and again, at least in that scenario, I understand why they wanted to be a little bit more aggressive and try and give themselves a better spot, but peeking with the spike from that corner, well, it was do or die. You miss that shot, you lose the round.
10 seconds left.
Yeah, most definitely. When you have the walls up as well, the big problem is for both teams here, they lost their Vipers. So those walls that were such a pivotal part, look how important they were at stopping any sort of fights going down, delaying that, and allowing Anubis to get into position. Also, on the other hand, allowing G2 to set up for the retake. Once both of those Vipers die, it becomes a much more two-dimensional round. And with the man advantage and the time against Anubis, that was really the worst case scenario for them.
Here.
Again, I see that drone going through alongside the flashes. Seeker's thrown out as well, but two players almost instantly dropped. In fact, Kellogg's has managed to find another one. Avez needs to be a hero here, and his teammate is way too far away to do anything. A solid hold coming out from G2, starting to see the stars align, and not today. No, sorry, not today. No one home. No one home.
Oh, well, I mean, that does work. It does technically tag him up, but the problem is he doesn't care because you can't shoot him.
Can we do this for a whole minute?
Yeah, he's going to stand in the snake bite at the thing. Now, of course, I like the attempt by Krollo, but it's just not going to work out. And in a 1 versus 3, 45 seconds, spike down in the open, operator on Kellogg's holding him. Dash not online. Oh, okay, and he's going to be punished. That's a very good start. Deep flash, he was ready for it, heard it coming. Swing out for more. Oh, Krollo, it's getting dangerously close now. He had the opportunity for them to line up. Yeah, he's had a really tough time holding down the site so far. Let's see what answer he's got this time. The first goes his way, but Avez quickly shuts him down. The plant being attempted with 10 seconds left. If Coldamenta found a kill, he would have had his ulti online, but he gets shut down right afterwards. Plan successful, and a great shot returned as Kellogg's falls. Mixwell quickly keeping the numbers even, but they still need to worry about that operator tagging him up. Avez down to 30 HP. The fight for the backlines is going to be where it's decided. Zizo needs to win this one for Anubis to stay alive here, and he's taken down, leaving it on to Avez. 30 HP and an operator. It will not be enough. 11 rounds for G2 and a crippled economy for Anubis. This is not looking good, Tom, as the rounds tie up.
Yeah, we're starting to see those like big clutch players really step up for G2. Like, all in all, considering how late that execution was, I don't think Anubis did particularly badly. Like, ends up in a 2v2 scenario where I just think that G2 played better off of each other. Like, Avez sat at the back of the site, couldn't really do much because of how low he was, and because of that, his teammate had to win a 2 versus 1 duel, which chances are you're not going to win.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate. There's too many angles for Zizo to play on there. And to try to make the push into Mixwell or take the fight on site. There was no opportunity to play the middle ground. At 11 to 11, you see what we were talking about. Practically no money for Anubis. Again, it doesn't matter where Kellogg's goes. There's a drone waiting for him. Tag comes in. Hunter's Fury activated. Mixwell in a little bit of trouble. He's being pressured in from middle, but main will not be an issue. Not as Kellogg's holds it down, but Frost quick to react. Bladestorm popped. Kellogg's able to turn for a third, and now it's all on to Shalabi. Backside. The first is his, but 3 more to go. Shock Dart almost hits him right in the head. He'll close the distance here looking for a kill, but with a Spectre in hand, his chances were slim to none. 12-11, G2 on map and series point. They have come down from quite a deficit right back into the lead. And just in the nick of time as well, Anubis invested heavily into that previous round, and now they're going to be regretting it.
This is the thing. It's one of those inevitable facts of life that eventually Kellogg's is going to have a round, and unfortunately for Anubis, it came right as they get towards map point. Like, again, managing to tag him up early, pressure quite significantly, taking down a player on site. Not awful, unfortunately, not going to be able to get anything done other than that. And now, to try and take this to OT. Oh my god, it's happened. Frost has not tagged him with the drone. It's a miracle.
Well, you have to be a little bit surprised, a little bit relieved. if you're Kellogg's. Now moving back in towards this A site. Yet again, Anubis want to hit it, but there's 4 players ready on the G2 side, and Mixwell's already taking down Aves. Oh, you can see where I am? Cool, I'll just spray you down. And Gordamenta, baby! Let's see how it works. Shock dart's coming in. Odin spraying away. Anubis in dire straits. That shock dart lands right on Shalabi's feet, leaving him on 38 health. Trapped on the site with the spike in hand. His teammates want to help him out, and Zizo will actually catch the mid flank. That's perfect. They've got a lot of control. Oh no! Krollo gets completely baited out by the Q. Zizo luckily trading, but Mixwell keeps it alive and closes it out with a